Right now.
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 Because it's time to write now.
Right now.
Right
Right now.
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 Because it's time to write now.
Right now.
Right
Right now.
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 Because it's time to
Welcome back to another late night writing sesh. Today, as in every day, as in the past 687 consecutive writing streams, we're going to get some writing in. And I have come up with a good idea. I've come up with an excellent idea for how I'm going to tweak this chapter that I'm kind of stuck on in my third draft revision. I'm not stuck on it. It's the only chapter that I know that needs work that I've not been looking forward to working on. So cheers, and we're here for a late night writing sesh. All right, let's do it. So we're going to get into it, and we're going to see just what vibe we're in. As you can see, I am hard at work on Scarecrow. You're like, where is the Last Scarecrow's progress? I was like, that's why I have this handy dandy story progress tracker. Dang, look at that. So cool, so cool. All right, so actually my third draft is actually probably closer. It's at 25% now. Second draft's at 70%. I almost feel like I want to get my third draft to 50% before I continue finishing the story. Oh man. Well, we'll see how it goes. I'm having a lot of fun in the third draft. Okay. So we're gonna push ahead and see what we see. Hey, what's up, Francisca? Welcome, my friend. Hopefully the writing vibe is treating you well this evening. Okay, so I am in the beginning of draft 3 for book 2, the last mission. All right, so I already know what I want to fix here. All right, well, let's just see how this beginning sounds. I was still feeling a little hit or miss on this. This is kind of like the introduction of the quest. This is really the introduction of of Scarecrow's quest, and the first time we actually see, we get more information about the background of the world. So, I guess we're gonna see. Okay, Chapter 11, the last mission. A brilliant white light flashed in all directions as Scarecrow collapsed onto a pile of dirt. In the blink of an eye, the world had changed drastically. No longer was he in the confines of the Red Tower. He stood before a giant water fountain. Brushing himself off, he rose. Brushing. No, he can't brush himself off. The Scarecrow collapsed. He rose, finding himself before a giant water fountain that spewed a golden, sparkling substance. He bent over to scoop up a handful, but the liquid passed through his hands. Looking first at his palms, then the rest of his body. Was he transparent? Swapping his hands to his chest only added to the unease. He turned to survey his surroundings. New city rose around him, the homes no longer in ruins, while the pristine silver walls surrounding the city stood tall and glistening in the sun. Screens with strange flashing images speckled many of the homes' exteriors. Beneath him was a concrete gray rocky substance, painted, dotted yellow and white lines zipped by in either direction. A door opened nearby as a creator with plain hair, freckles, and a fair complexion popped their head out. Scarecrow waved at them, but there was no acknowledgement. The creator seemed in a hurry as they shut the door and rushed down the dotted path. Many creators of different shapes and sizes passed by in various directions. Many creators of different shapes and sizes. Some families, some alone, passed by, some alone, passed by in various directions, all in a rush to be elsewhere. Welcome. A deep metallic voice reverberated. To the beginning of the end, Scarecrow. Where are? Scarecrow trailed off as he found himself face to face with the last robot, whose appearance had also greatly changed. Whose appearance had also significantly changed. Whose appearance had also greatly changed. The robot's angular body, no longer rusted, was sleek silver without a dent. The lights, dials, and buttons beeped steadily without delay. There was a near shiny gloss to its appearance, as if it were brand new. How are you? A roar of thunder drowned out his words as a beast that wasn't a beast flew through them. Atop the beast rode a creator, also in a rush. Atop the beast rode a creator. Atop the beast rode a creator. Okay, I know what I'll do. A roar of thunder drowned out his words as a beast that wasn't a beast flew through them. Atop the beast rode a creator. Um, Atop the beast rode a creator. Um, Coat flapping in the wind. Sitting beside wind. Sitting beside a robot. Sitting beside a robot. Sitting beside the last robot. A roar of thunder drowned out his words as a beast that wasn't a beast flew through them. Riding atop as roar of thunder drowned out his words as a beast that wasn't a beast flew through them. Sitting atop the beast rode a creator, coat flapping in the wind. Beside the last robot. Clinging beside the last robot, who clung to a bundle. Who clung to a bundle fiercely. Who clung on to a bundle fiercely. Scarecrow tried to cover his head, but again his hands passed through him. The last robot's hand rested on his shoulder. So if I have, let's then do this. Listen, watch, and absorb. The last robot's words echoed all around. All around them. Each syllable articulate, precise. Each syllable articulate. The last robot's words echoed all around him. Each syllable articulate and precise. Scarecrow. Okay, I know what I'll do. Scarecrow felt a. Okay, I think I know what to do. I know what I will do. I can do this without doing a scene break then. Wonderful. I figured out how to do this. All right. Scarecrow felt himself pushed. Scarecrow felt himself pushed aside as if by an invisible, as if by a mighty invisible force of wind. Scarecrow felt himself pushed aside as if by a mighty invisible force of wind. He stumbled sideways, tumbling. He stumbled sideways, tumbling through the closest wall. Hey, welcome, friends. Dark Fable, welcome, and Vomika, welcome. Always good to see you guys. I feel like we're getting like our right now night crew over here. And ML, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. I saw that you were online, just hitting the like button. I'm having to head out. I hope you get a lot of writing done tonight. Aw, thanks so much, friend. Always appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully everyone's getting some good writing vibes today, though. We are definitely getting some good writing vibes. Kaufman is definitely trying to push. Okay, where was I? Scarecrow felt himself pushed aside as if by a mighty invisible force of wind. He stumbled sideways, tumbling through the closest wall. Rolling forward, he stopped himself. Rolling forward, he stopped himself. As it rolling forward, he stopped himself as he landed in a gigantic oval room, in a magnificent, in a grand, magnificent oval room. He rubbed his eyes as he stood. He stood, trying to rub his eyes as his hands passed through his face. He stood, trying to rub his eyes as his hands passed through his face. Lining the walls were pillars and magnificent statues. Lining the walls were pillars, and I used magnificent now. Looking forward, he stopped himself as then in a grand oval room. In a grand oval room. He stood, trying to rub his eyes as his hands passed through his face. Lining the walls were pillars and magnificent statues, shaded in various colors. Adorning the walls were paintings of all shapes and sizes, hinting at far-off places. A glass window comprised the entire ceiling. A glass window comprised the entire ceiling was a glass window. The entire ceiling was a glass window. No, I don't like a glass window. Mirrored, made up the entire ceiling. Outside, an eclipse sun darkened the sky, while snow pattered against the pane. Pattered against the pane. Is pane the right word? What is a window pane? Yes, that is. Excellent. So I did that without needing to do a scene change. Wonderful. I think I can actually get this scene without having to do a scene change. Hey, what's up, Kay? Welcome back. I'll always be here when you're dealing with your insomnia. Sorry you're dealing with insomnia, my friend. You're having insomnia again. Saw you go live. Thought I'd pop in and say hello. Hello. Always providing some writing motivation over here, my friends. Whether it's the time of the world where it's bright and early for you, or whether you're a night owl like myself, or whether you're stuck in the vicissitudes of insomnia, I'm here for you. Let's see. Sure. Okay, I think that's actually a smoother transition now that I think about it. So, he turned to survey his surroundings. Okay, so yeah, I think that's a good setting. So he stood trying to rub his eyes as his hands. He stood trying to rub his eyes as both hands passed through his face. Lining the walls were pillars and magnificent statues shaded in various colors. Adorning the walls, lining the room were pillars and magnificent statues shaded in various colors. Adorning the walls were paintings of all shapes and sizes, hinting at far off places. A glass window made up the entire ceiling. Outside, an eclipsed sun darkened the sky, while snow pattered against the pane. A low, wolf-like growl shifted his attention to the center of the room, where a group of three creators perched on stumps. A low, wolf-like growl shifted his attention to the center of the room, where a group of three creators perched on stumps atop a dais. Standing proudly before them was a tall, scrawny man in a brown leather coat, hood pulled over his face. Standing proudly before them was the tall. Okay, a low wolf-like rush to the center of the room, where a group of three creators perched on stumps atop a dais. Each of these three creators, one crowned, one in each of these three creators, one crowned, one in golden furs, and the other in metals. Watched. Metals whispered amongst themselves. Each of these three creators, one crowned, one in golden furs, and the other in metals, whispered amongst themselves. Standing proudly before them was a tall, scrawny man in a brown leather coat, hood pulled over his face. His knee-length boots squeaked as he stepped forward. Pointing as he shouted, "I don't give a damn what's left." His stance hardened as he refused to back down. Hatred, scorn, and disdain lined the three creators' hawk-like eyes. Each of them wore extravagant furs and hides stained with spots of gold and red. The short one in metals and furs spat. "You've cursed us to damnation, betrayer. Our decision is final," the middle creator barked as he rose. Adjusting the golden crown atop his head while smoothing his furs. Calmly, the blonde creator in the golden furs leaned forward and hissed, "Begone, betrayer. Take the monster with you." This creator, feminine in nature, nodded to the other end of the room. The last robot stood just beyond the betrayer, cradling something small and swathed in blankets in its arms. Scarecrow waved, but was left ignored. It felt strange seeing his creators alive and in the flesh. Yet somehow the scene felt hollow, empty, and devoid of life, as if he was watching it through a lens. He tried to scratch his head, but his hand passed through again. Frustrated, he held his arms to either side. Frustrated, he held his arms to either side. The last robot strode to the betrayer's side in 3 steps. The lights along its body lit up as it spoke with a calculated precision. "Need we remind the council of facts?" The lights along its body lit up as it spoke with calculated precision. "Need we remind the council of facts? Without a defined sustainable solution, humanity..." "Fuck off, trash," the creator in metals roared. The metal creator roared. Where's our promised salvation? The golden-furred female hissed. The leader hopped off the platform towards them as his crown fell off, bounced on the floor, and rolled away into the shadows unseen. He hunched his legs and growled. The other two rose and tiptoed down the platform, forming a triangle. Their looks, haunted at first, diminished with each step. They prowled towards them, eyes glowing with rage. With each step, their demeanor became feral. I refuse to harm you, the betrayer cried. He reached over his shoulder to retrieve a staff, its edges adorned with glowing blood-red crystals. Stay back, please. You were warned, betrayer. The leader rolled his neck, eyeing him dangerously. Golden Fur whispered, Isn't a fight what you wanted? Golden Fur whispered. Golden Fur whispered. The leader rolled his neck, eyeing him dangerously. Golden Fur whispered, Isn't a fight what you wanted? She cackled and bit into her thumb. The metal creator growled. The metal one growled. So hungry. He fished 2 weapons from his belt and tossed them aside. They slid across the room. They clattered across the room. They slid across the room, clattering. They slid across the room, clattering. He hunched down onto all fours. I surmise the odds of survival without loss. Less than 4%. I recommend retreat, the last robot chirped, stepping back. The betrayer followed suit as he gripped the staff with both hands, while the last robot held tight to the bundle. The Council of 3 prowled forward like a pack of animals. Their humanity washed away with each step, becoming feral, savage. Growling and hissing ensued. The betrayer and the last robot were backed into a corner of the room. Reluctantly, the betrayer slammed the butt of the staff down. A white light leaked through his grip, and a circular shockwave rippled from the staff, ground first. The council was sent sprawling onto their stomachs. The betrayer breathed deeply, fear intermingled with relief. From the ground, the leader laughed. Will magic tricks be enough to save you, old man? Will magic tricks be enough to save you? Science. Will magic tricks be enough to save you, science? Maybe. I have to think about that one. Old man, will magic tricks be enough to save you, science? He let out a sharp whistle, forcing the betrayer to cover his ears and stumble to the ground. From the rafters above, a midnight black eagle pierced the air and ripped the staff from the betrayer's hands. The bird tossed the weapon away as it rolled into a forgotten corner of the room. As it rolled into the shadows. The bird tossed the weapon away as it rolled into the shadows. Need I repeat myself? The last robot asked, as if waiting for precise directions. The betrayer gritted his teeth. In unison, the Council of 3 jumped onto all fours. They leaned back onto their hind legs and growled. Kill them, the leader roared. The leader leaped at the betrayer with a look of rage and hunger. The betrayer held his arms to either side protectively, ready for the inevitable assault. From within the last robot's grasp, the bundle of blankets unraveled as a creature shot out in a red blur and latched onto the leader's face. From within the last robot's grasp, the bundle of blankets unraveled as a creature shot out in a red blur. As a creature shot out in a red blur and latched onto the leader's face, clawing him chaotically. The leader tried to lift an arm and howl, but he collapsed to the floor, dead, his face a bloody mess. The 2 remaining creators snarled. However, they were no match as the tiny creature shot forward. As the tiny creature shot forward like a bullet at the short creator. As the tiny creature shot forward like a bullet at metal creator, latching onto his face and clawing him in much the same manner. He slammed onto the floor with a thud as the little creature landed atop him and perched on his corpse. The lone, what would I use? Golden fur. The golden furred creator crawled backward. The golden furred creator crawled backward as her rage dissipated, giving way to fear. She scampered away, attempting to reach the door. The betrayer and the last robot stood, shocked, unable to react. The betrayer's face was a mixture of rage, fear, and sadness as tears streamed down his cheeks, soaking his scraggly, chest-length beard. The last robot opened his mouth to speak, but no word. The last robot opened his mouth to speak. The last robot opened his mouth to speak, instead turning to Scarecrow. I didn't. I didn't know. It repeated as if on an endless loop. The last robot turned to Scarecrow, opening it. The last robot turned to Scarecrow. Its mouth hung open. Its mouth left agape. I didn't know, it repeated as if on an endless loop. Scarecrow tried to back away. Scarecrow backed away as he stumbled. Scarecrow backed away as he stumbled back through the wall. Scarecrow backed away as he stumbled unexpectedly through the wall. Outside, a red blur shot. Outside, a red blur rocketed. Outside, a red blur rocketed. Outside, a family of creators collapsed to the ground, bleeding and dismembered. Outside, a family of creators collapsed to the ground, bleeding and dismembered. The tiny red creature, a blur, as it rocketed through the chest of a passing creator. And then another, and another, as waves of creators fell to the ground. As waves of creators fell to their death. It tore through holes. It shot through creators. It shot through their chests, their heads, their limbs. The creature shot through their chests, their heads, their limbs, like paper. Scarecrow ran away. Scarecrow screamed. Scarecrow screamed, unable to steady his shaking hands as he ran away. But wherever he ran, the tiny horror killed. Scarecrow screamed, unable to steady his shaking hands as he ran away. He flew past silver homes smeared in blood. He darted through stalls as creators fell. He darted through stalls, decorated with the corpses of creators. He tumbled through an open courtyard as a group of young creators fled, screaming and crying. But they didn't last long as the red blur passed through them and they were no more. Wherever he ran, the tiny horror was everywhere. Scarecrow skidded to a halt, grabbed his chest. Scarecrow skidded to a halt, grabbed his chest as he watched the blur, the tiny red blur pass him in all directions. His breathing was heavy. His face was soaked. His limbs trembled. Everything inside of him shut down. He should go back to the field. And never leave again. He should go back to the field and never leave again. Maybe if he took the hat off, he could leave it all behind. He reached for it, but his fingers passed through the brim. He reached for it with no luck. His fingers passing through the brim. He tried to cover his eyes. Closing his eyes only left him with the screams of the dying all around him. The only thing he could think to do was rise up as he screamed. Stop! As he shrieked. The only thing he could think to do was rise up as he screamed. Stop! Oh my goodness, this is an interesting chapter. Hey, what's up, Dark Senate? Welcome. I got Kaufman JK. What's up? I'm curious. Do you play D&D? No, I've actually never played D&D before. I've always considered it. Like, are you an actual author? Yeah, actually, I'm published in the anthologies that we've launched. In an anthology that we've launched so far, but I'm working on my debut novel right now. So, all right. The only thing I could think to do was rise up as he screamed. Stop. It would. D&D would interest me, but I think it's just a lack of time more than anything. It's always been the thing. I've just never had the time to. I've never had the right group and the time to be able to do a D&D campaign. Yeah. So I mean, you can definitely do him as a main, like collaboration, do him as a main villain. It's a political strategy. I mean, yeah. So what I would say, Senate, is you can totally like shoot me a message. I would say you can DM me and you can send me the details. Realistically, I'm probably just not going to have time to add much of anything to my schedule. Probably until the spring, in all honesty. But definitely feel free to DM me and send me more details. I'm always curious. I noticed your slim head bald. That's the ideal main villain. I noticed your slim head bald. Villain vibes. All right. All right. That's awesome. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it. Let's see. The red creature. Oh my goodness. This scene is so intense. I was like, okay, so like it's interesting because I wasn't originally going to make this like more of like a grotesque horror-esque scene. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess we'll kind of run with it with the plan that I had. Opening his eyes, the red blur landed atop a creator's bloodied remains. Opening his eyes, the red blur landed atop a creator's bloodied remains, which were beginning to crystallize beneath the creature, which were beginning top of creator's blood remains, which were beginning to crystallize into tiny blood red crystals beneath the creature, which were beginning to crystallize into tiny blood red crystals at the creature's feet. The red, we'll see if this works. The red creature crawled off the remains of the short creator. Let's see. Kaufman, what do you think about this title for a panel? Dead or Alive? What books will look like in 20 years? Francisco, that's a great panel title, by the way. Dead or Alive? What will books look like in 20 years? I actually think that's really fascinating. I like that. I think that's a really nice hook, actually. Yeah. That's a really nice hook, because then that makes me think the panel is going to be about discussing the future of books. I mean, we know with the writing industry and books in general, when we think about the past 10 to 20 years, is really the evolution of ebooks, how ebooks changed the industry, how indie publishing changed the industry. And then also the rise of audiobooks. So really, really, really interesting. And 20 years ago, we were still stuck. We were still in the gate kept age by the big five publishing. So yeah, that'd be really fascinating, Francisco. I think that'd be super cool. Let's see. Opening his eyes, the red blur landed atop a creature's bloodied remains, which were beginning to crystallize into tiny blood red crystals at the creature's feet. The red blur landed atop a creature's bloodied remains. But this time instead of flashing, but this time the creature crawled. Okay, now we can do this. This time the creature crawled off, but this time the creature crawled off the remains as tiny blood red crystals rose up. Tiny blood red crystals rose up where the claw marks had been. As it crawled away from the corpse, footprints left behind crystallized formations in its wake. The scampering cries, footsteps, and screams echoed in all directions. The creature stopped, craned its neck, and looked directly at Scarecrow. A deep, thought-provoking expression flitted across its angular features. Varying shades of red mastered its complexion, a nightmare come to life. Scarecrow lost himself in its mesmerizing, wide-eyed gaze. Scarecrow recognized the same demonic pull that he recognized the same not demonic. He recognized the same not unmovable. It's that he can't resist. The same irresistible pull that he had experienced back in the market. Fear gripped him like a vice. But the creature sniffed the air, turned away, and had furled black wings thrice its size as it flew away, becoming a red blur once more. But the creature sniffed the air, turned away, and unfurled black wings thrice its size. It flew up into the sky, disappearing beyond the clouds. It flew up into the sky, disappearing beyond the clouds. This was the last moment I encountered the first demon all that time ago. Scarecrow felt a hand on his shoulder. He looked up into the last robot's bright eyes, which cast a look of infinite sadness. Is that creature responsible for how but the creators Scarecrow stuttered. How our creators Scarecrow stuttered, lost for words. Extinct. The last robot blinked. Like fireworks, those eyes flashed a brilliant light as the ground gave way and Scarecrow fell. The death screams. Like fireworks, those eyes flashed a brilliant light as the ground gave way and Scarecrow fell. Death screams. Those eyes flashed a brilliant light as the ground gave way and Scarecrow fell. The city of death. Disappearing above him. Scarecrow plummeted through an endless sky of colorfully velvet clouds. All right. And then that's the beat. That goes into the next beat. I think that little death scene, I think the way that I reworked that is actually a little bit scarier. I think that is actually a little stronger. Absolutely love that, Francisco. I completely agree. I think that actually will set like a really nice precedent, especially for you and your authors and then the community. So I think that's super cool. Extinct. Mm. Hey, what's up, guys? Let's see. Lanya, welcome. Welcome. You're like, that was really cool. My favorite genre is horror, and I really enjoyed the dark themes and how you vividly brought it to life. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm wondering if this last scene does a good like thing with horror. I mean, like once again, this is dark fantasy. And it's definitely not a horror genre, but it has horror elements. Um, Hey, what's up, Marcella? Good evening, everyone. Can't believe you're live this late. But hey, what the heck? It beats doom scrolling. Want to try to write at least 1,000 words a day for the rest of the month. I feel you there, my friend. You know what? One word at a time. Yeah, I've been doing more late night writing sessions lately, and they've actually been pretty effective. So I'm pretty happy at how they've been turning out, in all honesty. I knew this chapter is going to be challenging. So I mean, fixing this chapter is going to be challenging. So I knew part of it was confusing. Scarecrow fell past another cloud as an image within it shifted yet again. This time only the silhouette of those black onyx wings unfurled as the first demon's form was cast in shadows. I know, the hood's off now. Dark Senate. Yeah, I saw that you had mentioned the schedule. Yeah, once again, I would say just DM me the details. And when I'm available again, I'll probably be able to look into it. Yeah. So what I would say is feel free to shoot me a DM, and I can we can chat more offline. No worries. Hey, what's up, Dark Curly? Like, I actually enjoy these late night streams. I usually write at 1, 2, or 3 a.m. Let's see. Show to breathe. How could, what was, why? My friend left me with protection. Within a deep midnight blue cloud, the betrayer and the last robot peered from atop the tower. Can we connect in Discord, but how to add you there? You don't like a link. Yeah, I'm not going to, I'm focused on writing right now, Known, so I'm done with this conversation, but you can DM me the details. So definitely. Because I'm focusing on storytelling and writing. Okay, so within a deep midnight blue cloud, the betrayer and the last robot peered from atop the tower. With the staff raised high, the betrayer pointed at the sky as a bearer of orange brilliance rose high over the city, shimmering against the chaotic elements from outside. My friend left me with protection. I don't know if I like that. My friend left me with protection. All right, so this okay, so this is how far I am through it. How much? Yeah, okay. So I know we have a couple more moments that I still have to get through. This is such like a powerful chapter. Oh my goodness. This is such a crazy chapter. I knew it had problems. I knew it needed to be fixed. I think so. Like, it's interesting with the way that I'm doing this chapter. So, like, Scarecrow is essentially experiencing a memory. He's experiencing the last robot's memories. And the way it's done is he experiences first a flashback, and then the flashback he's then sent through the Scarecrow. The way the second sequence, the way I'm envisioning it, and I'll have to see if it actually is clear enough to the readers, is that Scarecrow is now falling through a endless sky as the last robot's voice, his words are like echoing throughout the sky. As Scarecrow falls, he's passing through clouds. Images are appearing in the clouds like TV screens. And these images are showing what the history of what happened as Scarecrow's like hearing the last robot's words. So it's interesting. I think I was like, I know I can pull it off. I just have to make sure that it's clear without it being confusing. Because there's like a lot of information. There's a lot of world building I deliver in this chapter. This is probably the heaviest plot. This is probably one of the heaviest plot / world building chapters so far at this point in the book. Because it's a while before I was like, I don't even know if I do heavy plot based chapters until much later in the novel. But this was just, I knew this was something that needed to happen, so that way Scarecrow's mission is clear. Wow, and that first part, like the introduction, I'm really happy. I think the introduction of the first demon is much more terrifying, and I think that's what I needed to that's what needed to be conveyed. I think the first demon's introduction needed to be more horrific. So we'll see. But I feel like I was able to make a good little bit of progress, my friends. We did about an hour with a writing sprint, so I'm glad that I was able to kind of push and make some progress. That's kind of all that I got for you tonight. Once again, short little late night writing sesh. But yeah, you know what, making progress. I was like, how far did we get through? I did what we revised. How was that chapter? And I feel like the beginning of it was pretty good. Let's see. We did about, oh wow. I got through about 2,000 words. Yeah, my draft 3 writing sprints are going so much faster. The third draft, it's because the book's like really coming along, because the book's readable, which is so cool. Oh my goodness. So now I'm just doing like line edits and improving style and fixing minor beats. Oh, so cool. So exciting. But thank you everyone for joining today. Hopefully you're able to enjoy this little late night writing sesh. And that's all that I got for tonight. It's tomorrow, Friday? Saturday. Tomorrow's Saturday. So we will, I'll see when I feel like doing the writing sprint tomorrow. I'll kind of play it by ear. But yeah, so once again, writing sprints this weekend, just trying to be productive. For those of you interested in joining us for the Write Now Thon, don't forget, link down in the YouTube description for more details. This is going to be the end of year writing celebration that you want to be a part of. So make sure to click down in the YouTube description if you want to learn more about what's going on with our end of year writing festival. Nice, Marcella. Glad it helped you out a little bit, my friend. And that's all that I got. But unfortunately, that brings us to the end of the stream. Don't forget, words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kaufman, and I'll catch you on the morrow. Stay creative, writers. Words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kaufman, and I'll catch you on the morrow. Stay creative, writers. It's time to write.
Right now.
Sorry.
Right now, not right now, but right now. Read now, right now. Is that right?
Words are wind, but stories.